Hey everyone, Joey here. Thanks for stopping by the channel today. So I started this actually yesterday in yesterday's video. What I'm doing is I'm going room by room prior to my home tour, explaining my thought process and showing you some of the things that you may not have seen when I posted the original tree or something from that room. This is going to be a little bit of talking in here. So if you're not into hearing talking, this might not be a great video for you. But just so you know, I'm doing this because during the home tour, I like to do that basically with a lot of music. I think it adds to the mystique and the magical feel of what the house actually looks like. So yesterday I went through the foyer with you guys. We did Santa Land in there. I showed you what I did there. Today we're going to be moving into the dining room, and in the dining room I tried something a little bit different this year. I incorporated the Nativity set right within the tray, right within the tree, on trays or on shelves, something like that. Somebody suggested to me that I call it a Nativity tree, which I thought was a cute idea. But anyway, I had this vision that I wanted to build shelves within the tree, and then in the tree I wanted to arrange the nativity set within there. Originally I wanted to use the ceramic nativity set that my sister-in-law had made, which was very, very large pieces. And then as I was creating the tree, I realized that it was be too dangerous, so I didn't want to do that. So I actually used one of our nativity sets, which was a smaller set. Now, what I did was I had these grandiose plans of how I was planning to create this tree. But when it comes right down to it, I always, have a dose of reality into thinking, okay, well, how, I don't want to overextend this because, again, I said this yesterday as well, I don't know if I'm ever going to use this again or do it again. So I don't want to go so crazy in building something that is just going to be a waste of time and a waste of wood and money and everything else. So I went searching around looking for possible ways of creating shelving within the tree. And what I did was, as I was roaming around actually outside in the yard, I came upon a couple of plant stands, and I thought to myself, this might be good because they're lightweight, they're not really heavy. I can actually, zip tie them into the tree and use the branches of the tree to hold onto them so that they would be sturdy enough. And then what I did was I found I had really, really thick cardboard. I'm telling you, it was really, really thick. And what I did was I created, they kind of looked like tree, slices of trees. So what I did was I painted it out to make it look like a tree, and then I added some cardboard around the outside as well, and I painted that like a grayish brown so it looked like a slice of a tree. And then I put glue, and I put a lot of glitter on top of that, and then I put the nativity set, and I just used a drop of glue on each one of them to keep them sturdy. I then had another idea that I wanted candles through the tree, and I couldn't find them in the store. I did find them online, and then it was like, they were too small, and I thought, well, this is not going to look right. And then I investigated the tapered candles, the tapered ones with the, what do you call them, flameless candles. And I think I found them for like $40 a piece or something like that. And I was thinking, this is crazy. I'm not going to do that. That's too crazy. Even for me, I think that's too crazy. So what I did was I had the candles that I sometimes use in the windows. They're just single candles, and they have a plug-in, So what I did was I actually ran an extension cord up into the tree, and then I used those candles. And I can't think right now. We'll look at it in a second. I think I used maybe 6 of them only, and I think they, they gave me the idea of what I want. So if I ever do this in the future, it gives me a basis of a jumping off point. Now, the tree is also a homage to not only to the birth of Christ, but also to the tree in the Metropolitan Museum in New York City, which is a tree of angels, and they have the Nativity at the bottom. So I thought, okay, well, I'm putting the Nativity in the tree, and I want to put the angels throughout the rest of the tree. Now, Marianne loves the cherubs that we used in there. She really, really loves them a lot. I see her face when she takes them, when we unwrap them, and she looks at them, and we always recall how we found them in the store and how we should have bought more that we didn't. That's why when we find something now, we buy it. Something that we really like. And a lot of times what happens is I put those cherubs on the tree, and then they become masked by all the other stuff on the tree. So I thought, all right, let me think of how I'm going to do this. So I didn't want just the cherubs on the tree. I wanted something else. So I figured, all right, let me do a pattern of ornaments, balls. And I did kind of like a zigzag pattern like that. And then in that zigzag pattern, I incorporated those shelves for the nativity set. And then wherever there wasn't ornaments, that's where we put the cherubs. And then the only other thing that I added near the cherubs was picks of ficus leaves that I had iced and glittered, just to give it, more dimension. I also added into this tree, excuse me, I added branches of an old Christmas tree that I had sawed off, and I put those branches in as well. I wanted the tree to be grounded and come all the way down to the ground. So that enabled me to do that. And then I added some soft twinkling lights in there just to give it a mystique. Now, in the rest of the room, I carried that idea of, I used like rose-colored pink and a slight little bit of gold. I carried that over into the rest of the room, but simply because I wanted that tree really to be the star of the room. I didn't want to go crazy and all over in the rest of the room. Although china closet, I guess it's kind of crazy. I did all pink poinsettias on the top of the china closet, and then I added some ornaments in there, some shiny and glitzy things, and again, some more cherubs. And then within the china closet itself, I have some of the angels that Marianne bought us, the ornate angels. They're really, really pretty. I have a book in there about cherubs, and you'll see it. And then, of course, on the sidebar, I put our beautiful Holy Family that we got in Fortune Off the Outdoor store, which I wasn't going to use this year. And then I was looking over at the sidebar, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do a wreath on top of the mirror instead of doing this big elaborate thing over the mirror like I usually do. I did a wreath with cherubs in it. I did the Holy Family so that if we do need the sidebar, I can quickly move it off, and we can use that. And then on the table as well, I didn't go wild this year because although I've been using my trick of putting everything on a board so I can pick the board up and move it off the table, so when we need it, I don't have to take everything apart. I just have to pick it up. I kept it really simple this year. I did a runner, a mirror, and like a cake plate. And on top of that, I put a Santa, a rose-colored Santa, and cherubs flying around him. So rather than me just talking about it, let's take a look at it right now. Okay, so as you enter in from the foyer, this is what you see. Here is the tree and the china closet right here, and the rest of the room. So let's take a closer look at the tree, and so I can show you what I was trying to explain to you before. Okay, so as you can see here, this is how I built the shelves. So see what I'm talking about right here? Okay, and that was one shelf right there, and that's actually on a plant stand. Then I have a 3-tiered plant stand right here that I put the Wiseman on. The first one right there, and then the second one right there. You can see the plant stand right there, and the shepherd. And then down on the bottom to ground it, I put another shelf that's just laying on the floor with the animals. So then you can see the candles that I use. These are the candles that you can use in the window. And somebody wrote to me and said their candles turned like an ugly beigey kind of a color, and all I did was I painted them. I painted them white. Paint fixes everything. So you can see the nativity set, which is embedded in the tree like this. Now, I explained to you about the ornaments. Let me come up here and show you. See, so I started the ornaments up on the top like that, did a simple topper, and then you can see they come down this way. And I just wanted to give movement. So it came around this way, and then here, down here. Now you can see it starts to incorporate the nativity set right here, right? And then it comes around and then down like that. And then you see the cherubs are more visible this way by things not being around them, so you can actually spot them on the tree. Okay? And then here is what I told you. These are the ficus sleeves, right? And so what I did was I put glue on them and I did glitter, so it gives a glistening look. Now I kept the colors very somber. I kept it mostly the rose gold. The rose color here, and every once in a while I put a little touch of gold just to pick up the gold that's in the room. Okay, and as you can see, I added the branches very low so the tree goes all the way down to the floor. Okay, now the china hutch, china closet, or whatever you want to call it, right, is right here. And let me take a close-up of the top for you. So here what I did was, the first thing I started was I filled the whole top with the pink poinsettias because I wanted it to look like it was overflowing, like a garden of pink poinsettias growing up there. Then, first I actually had to add the garland around the outside. I did garland around the outside, and then I added branches of that tree again in here to make it really full and lush. Then I did the poinsettias up on the top. Like I said, I wanted it to look like an overflowing garland. And then you can see here, I added this mauvey rose-colored ribbon that we got in Costco. And then I added more cherubs right here. I also added these little angels that are flying on swans. So you can see the cherubs in here, and they do have a pattern. I started with a big one in the center, and then like one on each end, and then these smaller cherubs here throughout. Okay, so let's take a look at the inside. So what I decided to do to pick up the little bit of hints of gold that's in the mirror and the chandelier and so on, I put gold charges. I only used 4 plates, and I used Marianne's mother's plates because they had a little bit of pink in them. I know they're not Christmas, but they go because the color goes. And then I used these glasses, which are from my parents right here with they look actually like reindeers flying, but they're actually horses, but they have that frosty, icy look and the gold horse as well in there. So, and it kind of looks, it has a very holiday look. Then I use these right here because of the gold topping on the top. And I did 4 of these, one on the other side, one on the bottom, one on the other side, and then these glasses in the middle on both sides. Then on the middle shelf right here, I used 3 of the angels that Marianne purchased from, oh God, I can't think of the name of the place, some Terry's Village. I don't even know if it exists anymore. But again, I did the gold angels on each side, and then the rose color angel in the middle. And then just down on the bottom, just to ground it, I used a piece of garland with a few little poinsettias and some pine cones that I painted pink. and another ornament with the Holy Family. Then down here on the middle shelf, what I did was I used a book about cherubs that a friend of ours gave us, and I opened up to this page, so it's open and it looks like a big picture throughout the whole thing. I used a glass with an ornament in it to raise these candles that I painted pink. And then again, to ground this, I used a piece of garland with some poinsettia, a pink pine cone, and some of those pink grapes. And then down here, 2 pictures of angels in the back, our wedding candle, the Blessed Mother right there in the middle, and then again, I grounded it with a piece of garland and some picks and some ornaments and whatnot for the total picture. So once again, there is the China hutch. Some people commented when they saw it, the individual, that it was a little bit over the top, but yep, that's it. That's exactly right, over the top. So then down here on the mirror, and I usually do something across the whole top of the mirror, but like I said, I wanted to keep it a little bit more calm this year. Well, calm for me anyway, and I did this wreath, again, with the picks, repeating the same ribbon, repeating the cherubs, repeating the poinsettia. That's the whole idea, to repeat it in the room so that it makes sense and it gives you consistency. And then, of course, this beautiful Holy Family that we got from Fortune Off, the outdoor store. And then the gold in the mirror, the gold in the lamps. You see how it all ties in. It's like part of my obsessiveness that I want things to tie in together. I think this is the simplest dining room table I've done in a long, long time. All I did was I put this runner, once again, with the gold highlights in it. I did these candle holders, 2 of them, and I like the glitz, a glitzy, icy kind of a look. I used this mirror right here with the gold rim, and then I used a cake. That's a cake plate there. That came from Burlington. And this beautiful Santa, one of the Santas I love the most, with this rose-colored coat, and he's so soft. If you could feel him, he's absolutely wonderful. And then here, hanging from the chandelier, we have these tiny little cherubs flying over the Santa. So that was my thought for my room with my nativity tree. Okay, everybody, so I hope you enjoyed that little insight into my thoughts for the dining room, and I'll be seeing you hopefully tomorrow with another one. Take care, and thank you so much for stopping by. Bye-bye.